Ladies and gentlemen, attention please, take your seat. After a few minutes, we will ready to begin. Thank you. Дамы и господа, занимайте, пожалуйста, свои позиции за столами. Мы готовы начать. Спасибо. Ladies and gentlemen, attention please. Please take your seats. We will ready to find you all at the place and we will begin after a few minutes. Thank you. Also, don't forget about the translation. Channel 1 is Uzbek language, Channel 2 English language, Channel 3 Russian language, and Channel 4 Chinese language. If you need the Wi-Fi, we have the QR code on the screens. Grab it to enter the internet. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, attention please, one more time. Please take your seats. We are ready to begin in a few minutes. Thank you. Дамы и господа, огромная просьба занимать свои позиции за столами. Мы готовы начинать. Спасибо. So, let me begin the first general session, Textile and Apparel Industry in Uzbekistan. And I'm glad to introduce on the stage, moderator of the session, Mr. Aziz Akhrarov, Samarqand Apparel and Buka Sportswear, Uzbekistan.
Distinguished guests, dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Samarkand and joint conference of ITMF and IF. It's an honor for me to moderate the first session and the preliminary session. That gives me opportunity to express how I'm happy. 10 years ago, when I participated first time in ITMF conference, I was surprised that not only Uzbekistan, but Central Asia was not on the map of the ITMF and the global trading and textiles. So the proof of the changes happened in this year, in this place, in our country, is that we are now happy to host this conference in wonderful Samarkand, in Uzbekistan and Central Asia. So let me introduce our speakers today. It's our honor to give the presentation of our speakers, starting with Mr. Ki-hak Song, chairman of Youngone Group. He served as the president of ITMF, as most of you know, and chairman of Kafoti. And Mr. Song will give the Youngone experience in Uzbekistan. Another presenter is also, I can say, the friend of Uzbekistan already, helping Uzbekistan textile manufacturers to come into the global trade. Mr. Abu Yusuf, the program manager, ILO Better Work Program. He will give some information about transformation of cotton and textile industry of Uzbekistan in sense of social compliance and level standards. Mr. Karim Shafai, partner in Guernsey, Switzerland. He will give us brief prospects for Uzbekistan textile industry. And Mr. Muzaffar Razakov, chairman of the Global Textile Group, one of the leading companies in Uzbekistan, producing everything starting from the yarn, and now they're going to manufacture the finished garment. And of course, the chairman of Uz Textile Prom, Mr. Mir Muhsin Sultanov. You met him on the event, and he's deemed it enormous work to organize this event. So we can start. Thank you. Mr. Song? Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Yeah. When I was invited to do something, I thought this is a good opportunity to meet you all, as well as presenting Youngone operations in Samarkand as well as Tashkent region, and then seek your help and support. That is why I came here. Thank you. Well, I'd like to start with a small video of Bangladesh, because our manufacturing is mainly based in Bangladesh. I went to Bangladesh in 1980. We were the first investor as well as a real manufacturing plant in Bangladesh already in 1980. So this is also, I should mention that I'm grateful for the support of everybody here, that we are celebrating our 50 years of anniversary in the same business of textile and clothing. This is what I like to tell you about. Well, I will.
It isn't every day that one starts the workday with the chirping of birds. In acres of land surrounded by the mesmerizing beauty of rolling.
Why I'm showing this one? Our ultimate goal is to make something similar in Uzbekistan like this. This is what we are showing you, the future of Uzbekistan textile by Youngone Corporation. Please, go ahead.
It isn't every day that one starts the workday with the chirping of birds. in acres of land surrounded by the mesmerizing beauty of rolling green hills, trees, and lakes. Countless smiling faces come to work here each and every morning and happily return to their homes after the end of a day's work. Who would have thought that this is the story of an EPZ, established by the well-known Korean company Youngone Group? KEPZ is situated on the Kornafuli riverside in Chittagong's Anwara area and is currently the largest private EPZ in Bangladesh. This is a story that started back in 1999 when Youngone was allocated 2,492 acres of unused land, which was acquired and given possession, after which started the development work for KEPZ. Working tirelessly in a short span of time, Youngone Group has transformed the barren land into a world-class, eco-friendly industrial zone. There are very few EPZs or industrial zones that are environmentally friendly, worker-orientated, and commercially successful at the same time. This is one, where 52% of the land has been afforested, with 2.5 million trees already planted across 822 acres of land. 470 acres of land have been kept as open areas, where there are over 25 artificial lakes that hold up to 500 million gallons of rainwater every year. As of now, 48% of the area stretching across KEPZ is covered by 42 world-class export-orientated factories, covering over 6.5 million square feet of factory floor. These factories span many different industries. KEPZ houses the largest textile facility for man-made fibers in the country. And once complete, this zone will offer a total of 2 million square feet of floor space. This is the largest man-made fiber textile hub in the country and is much needed to fill a growing domestic demand. KEPZ is also building a huge IT park on 100 acres of land, the construction of which has already started. In addition, it plans to establish another IT development complex on 50 acres of land, where 20 high-rise buildings will be constructed. Together, both the parks will create employment for around 20,000 technical people. The company-wide environmental sustainability principles commits it to a decarbonization strategy, including a target of 60% renewable energy powering its factories. A 40-megawatt rooftop solar power project has been initiated, of which 36 megawatts are already online. The estimated annual solar power generation will be 65 million kilowatt hours, leading to an estimated carbon saving of 27,000 tons of CO2 per year. At present, 29,000 highly trained employees are working at KEPZ, most of whom are from neighboring areas. With the ongoing development of the existing facilities and the introduction of sophisticated new industries, KEPZ stands to earn over $1 billion in foreign currency every year. On completion, KEPZ will house a multitude of industries working across many different sectors. The Youngone Group started its operations in Bangladesh in 1980 and has proven itself to be a trusted and long-term friend of this country. Youngone was the first company to bring foreign direct investment to Bangladesh's RMG sector and was the first foreign investor in the Dhaka EPZ. Starting their journey with only 250 employees, the Youngone Group has successfully grown to employ over 70,000 people, 70% of whom are female. Youngone is proud, in fact, to have been one of the early pioneers in developing a female workforce in Bangladesh. Amongst Youngone's other social contributions to Bangladesh, notable is their restoration project of the archaeological ruins at Shunargaon, preserving this historical legacy for future generations. Youngone is proud of its investment and partnership with Bangladesh in KEPZ and is confident of a bright and productive future for everyone in the many years ahead.
Well, this is our future. In any countries I invest. So we have a lot of work to do, and I want to brief about our investment as well as investment plans in Uzbekistan. Go ahead. We have actually hotel, but this is not hotel, but it's a so-called dormitory, staff house for Youngone, which we are just starting. And we are running an El Merosi theater in the city center there. And every day, 6 o'clock in the evening, there is a costume show, as you have seen there. It's very a favorite place of the visitors as well as the citizens here. Next. 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 This is the show place here. Go ahead. This is a Samarkand apparel which Mr. Aziz is running. That one was an old Soviet plant which we have renovated and then completely refurbished it last 5 years. And we are trying to make one of the significant production place for our apparel, knitting, as well as dyeing and finishing mill there. Next. Yes, this is in the city, yes. Next. This is an education center we have established it to teach them Korean language as well as English, garment technology and fashion. So we will run a school there, which we are just starting, and building has been completed. Next. Go ahead. This is in Tashkent region that we have taken over about 20 hectares of land where old textile mill, which never started even the production. So we have renovated it, and then we are setting up a big mill there to contribute for the export of the country. Next. Next. Sorry, we have no sound there. This is a look of our factory, which already we are start building there. Well, as this way, we have taken about 10 years to really develop this infrastructure, and this is a high time to develop our employment as well as our export. And the country, and especially President Mijayev, is very, very supportive of all these projects. And you have a very good support from the government side as well as community side. Here, we came here to enjoy the welcoming citizens of Samarkand as well as Tashkent region. So this is, I expect that Uzbekistan will become another hub of textile export, textile and clothing export. And we are here to add man-made fiber element of the clothing, which is a necessity. So we are bringing our man-made fiber product skills to combine with cotton produced in the country, and we are looking forward to serve the whole world from Samarkand as well as Tashkent region. And then another regions like Bukhara and other places, they are welcoming us too. Thank you very much indeed for listening to me here. Thank you. Thank you.
So we are passing the floor to the next speaker, Mr. Abu Yusuf. The place is yours.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My name is Yusuf. I'm managing Better Program in Uzbekistan. I'm based in Uzbekistan with my family. So I also would like to welcome you to Uzbekistan and also in Samarkand once again. So I will, in next 10 to 15 minutes, I will try to present what is the importance of promoting sustainable enterprises and also due diligence in the context of Uzbekistan textile and cotton industry. And how, I think before going in details, let us also ask ourselves two key questions in that regard. Why do we need sustainable enterprises at this moment in Uzbekistan? And what is going to be our individual and collective collaboration and partnership to achieve sustainable supply chain in Uzbekistan? So I will try to come back to this question during my presentation and what is our role from Betterwork and ILO side in this whole discussion. Can. So before going to that, let us also go through some background, some transformation that we have seen in Uzbekistan during last decade. We all must agree and acknowledge that Uzbekistan has been doing tremendous progress in terms of social development in Uzbekistan in last 10 to 15 years. And if you take some of the milestones during this time, you have to talk about collaboration from international partner in Uzbekistan on eliminating child labor. ILO has been working on that together with our constituent here in Uzbekistan to eliminate child labor since 2013. And during 2014 and 15, we have also established an international collaboration with ILO, along with our partner from World Bank and also development partner, to also look into the forced labor in cotton production and also textile supply chain in Uzbekistan. Along with this collaboration, in 2019, ILO confirmed officially that there has been a significant reduction or elimination of child and forced labor in Uzbekistan. And that has been also a key milestone and achievement for the industry in Uzbekistan, and that was recognized by EU in following year in 2021, where Uzbekistan has been enlisted as GSP plus status. And then if you look into also the government reform over this period of time, you also see that government has opened up the cotton and textile industry to the private sector. So we also introduced a cluster system in Uzbekistan that allow business, farmer, and cotton business actor come together to discuss on their terms and conditions of the business. So that's how we also step into the open market era in Uzbekistan. And then I think if you look into the transformation from last 10 years, step by step, government and also industry in Uzbekistan would like to step into the export market. They want to be a giant and also a big player in export market with finished product. And in that regard, ILO established in collaboration with IFC, ILO established a program called Betterwork Uzbekistan, which is actually helping the industry to understand what are the key requirements in doing business in European market and US market, and how we all as a constituent and also industry actor can be part of that journey. And then I also would like to quickly look into the supply chain that we have. I know it's a complicated supply chain when it comes to the textile, apparel, and cotton industry in Uzbekistan and also elsewhere. But what Betterwork Uzbekistan brought into this discussion? We have been discussing a lot about sustainable cotton production through support from our colleague from Better Cotton Initiative, from GIZ. Then with Betterwork introduction to the industry, we also look into the manufacturing process of finished product, starting from textile to the finished product. And this is where we brought in the additional experience from all over the world. As you might know, that Betterwork has been working for more than 20 years in 13 countries. So we brought in this experience in other giants from the textile and apparel industry into Uzbekistan so that we can transform this industry and that make them prepared for become a export giant in next couple of years in Uzbekistan. I think this is also one of the mission set by government of Uzbekistan and also our colleague from Chust Textile. They want to be become a global player in textile and apparel industry. And that's where Betterwork and ILO would like to see in details in their production process and make sure that we have sustainable compliance and resilient by all the requirements that we have in labor standard and compliance. And then when you talk about ILO Betterwork program, we always think about joint collaboration with twofold approach. One is, in one side, we look into the enterprises, try to understand their specific compliance status, what are the specific non-compliance that we can see during our assessment, and how we can provide technical advisory and training so that they can overcome from those non-compliance and be prepared for international business, especially to Europe and US market. And second part is also very important, to work closely with our constituent to help them to continue their reform around social dialogue, freedom of association, collective bargaining, and also labor inspection system. So we, from ILO side, we have two specific roles that we play. We are, at the one side, we are making our enterprise prepared for new business scenario. At the same time, we are also promoting international labor standard in ongoing reform that government has been taken since 2017. And then we, as a Betterwork, we also have a huge networking among around 200 international brands partners. So we also try to give them a specific data and compliance data from the field, so that based on data, they can decide on their commercial engagement future with Uzbekistan. And then in this collaboration, we have government is our key partner to look into the specific reform that they have undertaken. And then we also bring in worker voice through our trade union colleague in this discussion. And then we also bring business in the discussion. So we, as ILO, we promote tripartite discussion, tripartite dialogue in every level of our discussion and also a process. So this is what is special contribution from ILO side to bring in all these three different parts in the discussion to promote sustainability across the supply chain. And if you want to improve your enterprises for better business, we have to understand what is the baseline and what is the vision. So this is what we are trying to work together with our colleague from enterprises, try to understand what are the specific vision that we can establish as a shared vision on improving their compliance around social dialogue, around worker management, collaboration, around compensation. So in that, we look into ILO labor standard and also as well as national law around contracts, working hour, and compensation. So with this kind of a quick assessment, as a partnering with the enterprises, we understand what are the specific vision for each individual enterprises and how from ILO side we can provide support that is needed by the enterprises. And then when we have a specific baseline and vision for each enterprises, we, from ILO side, through Betterwork program, we sit together with the manager, try to understand what there is specific requirement of technical capacity development support. We provide those support. We also try to understand what the specific advisory we can provide through our advisory along with our partnership with enterprises. So based on that, we promote self-diagnosis system into the enterprises. So enterprise will have their tool and technique to understand what are the specific need for there to improve. And then from our side, we try to build that partnership through collaboration, to commitment, and also ownership that we have provided to the enterprises. Our idea is not to find out the non-compliance. Our idea from ILO side to understand what are the specific baseline and support that is required to promote the enterprise into the next level. I think one of the main questions when we discuss with our brand partner is traceability and transparency. I think when you discuss with our brands and buyers, they always want to go for new destination, but they also want to make sure that they have specific system in place in the enterprise level so that they understand the data that are coming from the enterprises are through certain quality check and transparent way. And this is where we would like to work together with our constituent here in Uzbekistan and also with enterprises, try to build a specific transparency model that will allow enterprise to detect their non-compliance in really a collective manner, cooperative manner, and then allow this data available for our potential brands and buyers would like to come into Uzbekistan. And this is what has been the model that we have been promoting every other country that we have been promoting this program, like in Bangladesh, as Mr. Sung mentioned. So this is what we are now. We have just started our program in June last year. We have now enterprises, around 10 enterprises that in our program. So through these 10 enterprises, we would like to piloting this system, transparent system on compliance, which will allow enterprise to interact with their potential brands and buyers from US and Europe, so that based on this discussion, they can decide on their commercial partnership going forward. And that is what we would like to bring in Uzbekistan, and that will also make your supply chain more compliant and resilient to make your decision based on data and impact that we can provide you from our program and also from the enterprises. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you a good day for the rest of your time here in Uzbekistan.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf, for the work you do here to bring Uzbekistan in the global market. And the next speaker, Mr. Karim Shafai. Please, the floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. Can Uzbekistan become a next textile giant? That's quite a big question that has been circulated. I think several people brought up that question. And there are many countries around the world that are producing textiles and apparel, but only a few are anchors in that industry around the world. And when my friend and colleague Laurent, and co-author of the report that I will present now, was first in Uzbekistan, he came back and he said, Uzbekistan can be a game changer in the cotton, textile, and apparel value chain. They have Asian costs. They're a few days transportation from Europe. They're one of the 10 largest producers of cotton. They have massive investments in spinning, weaving, dyeing, finishing, and garmenting. So can they become a disruption to the value chain of cotton and textile and apparel? Now, in the next few minutes, I will show and go over a report that was written in 2022 and then was updated again in 2024 that looks at the textile industry in Uzbekistan and what are the prospects for the industry. How can I flip the screen? But first, to some acknowledgement. This report was commissioned by the GIZ Sustainability and Value Added in Agricultural Supply Chains, which is working on behalf of the German Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development. And it's working with local partners, the Ministry of Agriculture in Uzbekistan and the Uzbekistan Textile and Garment Industry Association, who are our hosts in the ITMF today. They are there to develop sustainability across the entire value chain from the cotton field all the way to the shelf. So for any business that has to do with the sustainability of cotton, please get in touch with GIZ. They know everything that needs to be known about the entire value chain in Uzbekistan. Now, so first of all, why did we do this research back in 2022 and again in 24? Uzbekistan has moved a lot very fast in the past 8 to 10 years, as you might have heard in different presentations. Yet, there was a big lack of information about the Uzbek textile industry. So there had to be somewhere where we can do a profile of the textile industry, make sure that the data is accurate, is up to date, because before that you could get the same information from different sources and they would be conflicting. Number two, there was a need that there is a report that is not cheerleading or criticizing, but something that is offering facts offering a balanced view of what is going on. And third, there needed to be a baseline study that we can compare from year to year what has been going on in the industry and how it has been developing. And now you can look at the report from 22 and 24 and see how fast the industry has been growing. This report was initially intended for people who are working with Uzbekistan, buyers, policymakers, investors, development organizations, but everybody in the textile industry needs to know about Uzbekistan, whether you're going to work with them, whether you're going to be importing from Uzbekistan or exporting to them, or if you have nothing to do with Uzbekistan. If there is a country that might disrupt the cotton value chain, you need to know what they are up to. So the report gives a 360 view of Uzbekistan. It doesn't just look at the textile industry, but all the environment around it. What is supporting it, what are the challenges, and what are the potential way forward for the industry. Now, it's 60 pages, the report. I was going to read all 60 pages, but they said that they need the room on Wednesday. So I'm just going to give you just an overview of the story of Uzbekistan, because a lot has happened in the past 8 years. So, first of all, Uzbekistan introduced the cluster system, which is a very unique system to the textile industry. Cotton clusters start from the cotton production all the way to the finished product. So it's an integrated value chain from fiber to the retail. Between the time where the regime of the cluster was put in place until today, there are 142 clusters that are responsible for 100% of the cotton production in Uzbekistan. In that very short period, in the past 8 to 10 years, there has also been massive investments in the sector. Today, Uzbekistan has around 4 million spindles. And only in the past 5 years, they have been able to increase their exports by 200%. Just 2 years ago, when we wrote the first version of that report, exports were less than $3 billion. Today, they're nearing $4 billion. So only in 2 years, we have seen a 35% increase. And their exports of finished goods, garments, and home textiles have gone from $300 million in 2017 to over $1.5 billion in 2023. So in just 6 years, they have been able to multiply by 5 their exports of finished products. It's a super interesting country to look at. First of all, coming from a cotton ban that has put a stop on exports of their garments and products made out of Uzbek cotton for a good 10 years, they have been able to eradicate completely any violations or any the systemic use of child labor and of forced labor. And that has happened. This is a tradition that goes back a very long time, and it was reversed in just a matter of a few years. Moreover, they have passed a lot of laws that are there to protect the interests of the labor. Number two, they have focused a lot on the environmental compliance, and the government is providing a lot of incentives for investments in water treatment plants. They are supporting the industry in obtaining international certificates, and a lot of focus is on how to meet sustainability targets for the industry and for the country. They have also a lot of incentive packages for exporters and manufacturers of textiles, including supporting transportation, support in marketing, support in training, and a long list of incentives and support programs, all of which are, again, in the report. The textile clusters, which I just mentioned, today, Uzbekistan does not export any raw cotton anymore. 100% of the cotton is transformed in the country, and that's thanks to the textile cluster regime that has been put in place a few years ago. And then finally, what best sourcing country than one that has Asian costs and sit a few days transportation from Europe. So Uzbekistan has a fantastic central location where it can be a supplier to Asia, a supplier to Europe, duty-free access into Europe with a few days in transportation. So these are all the components that can make a textile leader. Just quickly, some of those numbers you already heard several times in the past couple of days, but in the past 10 years, they multiplied their production by 8. Apparel production multiplied by 17 times in the same 10 years. Today, 100% of the cotton is processed, and 85% of their exports are going to neighboring countries. I'm just giving you here the summary of the report. You will find all the details of all these numbers going back to 2017 in the actual document. They have competitive manufacturing costs, focus on labor, GSP plus status that allows them duty-free access into Europe, and regional trade agreements with over 12 countries. But, like we said, it's going to be a balanced review. There are challenges, and some of them the government is addressing, some of them will take some time, but it's important to know what are these challenges. The first is the international reputation. After years of cotton boycott, Uzbekistan is either not known to a lot of European and American buyers, or they have a negative association saying, we don't know much about Uzbekistan, we don't want to source from there. There's a lot of work that Uzbekistan needs to do in the next years to inform the world about the potential, and number two, to change the reputation. Product and market mix. So far, the focus is on cotton. As you have seen in yesterday's discussion about fibers, cotton is shrinking as a percentage of global consumption of fiber. It is shrinking also in terms of size of production. And Uzbekistan today is highly focused on cotton, and they need to start looking at man-made fibers. And thank you, Chairman Sun, for talking about that earlier and bringing man-made fibers to Uzbekistan. Now, also the skills, a lot of investment has gone into the machines, huge capacities, very modern factories, but little is there to educate and produce the HR requirements and the human resources that are required in the industry. And then logistics, although Uzbekistan is very close to Europe, it is double landlocked in an area that is still today difficult to manage, especially with current geopolitical events. And the government is supporting transportation and providing both logistical support and financial support to transportation. It still remains a challenge. And in the next few months, there are some solutions that are coming to overcome some of those challenges, but still they are not fully utilizing the closeness to Europe. So in the next phase, we know that Uzbekistan will need to diversify its markets. The regional markets that it has right now have a ceiling, and they cannot exceed that ceiling. So they have to look at non-traditional markets. For them, they have to look at Europe, they have to look at expanding more into Asia, they have to look at the Middle East and North Africa as potential clients for them. Product diversity, again, they need to introduce man-made fibers, move from very basic products to more complex products, more fashion-sensitive products. In environmental issues, they have addressed a lot, but there is still more that is desired in terms of water preservation, in terms of water treatment. And then they need to focus on service. Some of the buyers we have spoken with said, we've tried to deal with Uzbekistan, there is still a cultural gap. They need to start understanding what Europeans and American buyers want and how they can penetrate those markets. So finally, and to wrap this up, I think everybody needs to read that report and understand what are the prospects for Uzbekistan. We're not saying that they will become a giant. They have made huge leaps in the past few years. There are some challenges that need to overcome, some clear priorities that they need to address, But the prospects for Uzbek textile industry to come as one of the top players in the world is there. Finally, you can scan this QR code and download and actually send a request, and the GIZ is going to send you the report, which is being published this week. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fai, for this valuable and very important information to be shared. Next panelist, our friend Mr. Muzaffar Razakov, the chairman of Global Textile Group.
Assalamu alaikum, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big honor for me to be here and to present. Our work has been done. You just witnessed it. Beautiful introduction from Chairman Soon, who I am considering as my big teacher, and I know that I have learned the lessons in 10 years we have to be at that stage what he has presented. And Abu Yusuf has explained that we don't need to forget about sustainability, especially social sustainability, and we work very much closely with Better Work. And you have just got to know the excellent analytics from Gerzi, world #1 textile consultant, strategy consultant Gerzi by Karim. And now I would like to present tangible result, tangible clear project based on our company, who is the product, which is the product out of this transition. We are the products of reforms and transition of cotton and textile industry. Here are the key historical points, and I would like to outline that mainly Uzbekistan was dealing with cotton farming as well just commodity production, and we have supplied our neighbors and world market. But the change came and defining moment came on 2017, where our estimated president has launched big program, big package of transition of economy, and textile as a backbone of our economy underwent huge transition, where new unique model as cotton textile cluster has been introduced, and we are one of the cotton textile clusters. Here are a short overview about our company as a flagship company for the reforms or result of the reforms. We are a vertically integrated company who is working starting from seeds, cotton seeds, planting seeds, cotton farming. We have our own ginning mills. We have our own spinning mills. We have our own dyeing mills and knitting mills. And now recently we started with ready garmenting. And we attracted and we achieved the export more than 200 millions in the last couple years. And we have created more than 6,500 new jobs in that industry, and we're expanding to our neighboring countries. And we are once again, we are the product of the reforms, result of the reforms. As I said, we are dealing very much with cotton farming. The huge change came in the reforms where our president allowed the business, the private sector to deal with agrosphere, where we could receive, we have produced our own raw material, so-called white oil, white gold, and we brought a lot of innovations and a lot of new news and changes into the agrosphere, where we are dealing directly with the agrosphere. Especially, we are very much proud of our smart watering system, since water is one of the expensive good in our region. We have invested a lot, and we would like to invest, and we will cover entire our area with smart irrigation system with water, drip water irrigation. And beside this, we have our own fields, cotton fields, but beside this, we are working very closely with farmers on the basis of contract manufacturing. And as I said, we have really two very nice ginning companies, ginning mills, equipped with Lummus, the world leader in the ginning technology. And as you can see from the picture, there is, you don't see the dust, and you don't see because this is the world #1 technologies where we are investing a lot of money in order to catch up this knowledge gap in the technologies. And we have, of course, our spinning mills as well in Tashkent, as in Fergana Valley, very much equipped with the leading technologies, like Ritter, Uster, Moratec, and we are producing 100% cotton combat yarn, but we are able to produce also blended yarn based on the synthetic or viscose and other stuff. And we have our knitting mills, as I said, also equipped with the world #1 leading technologies, and we're producing currently 55 metric tons raw knitted fabrics. And we have also our dye house where we have also equipped with world leaders in the technology, and we are producing the knitted dyed fabrics. We are supplying even our estimated partners, the Samarqand Apparel, what Mr. Chairman Song has mentioned. And beside this, as I said, we have started our own garmenting division, and we have set up the garment training center in our premises, and we will commission until the end of this year 60 lines of sewing plant, which is, of course, sounds very big, huge, but we want to put biggest high objectives on against our. And we have our own, developed our own brand, which we will invest in the next year to develop and to promote our own national brand airline. These are all about quality. We have received, and we are very keen in the quality. Quality is first for us, and we have all kind of certificates, and we are still in the process of getting more other certificates and be aligned with the expectation of our foreign partners, because my idea is that if my partners understanding me, and if I'm similar to my partners, if they're understanding me, then they will start to trust me. As well, they will start to trust me, they will set up the cooperation, fruitful cooperation. And then we can strengthen our export potential. That's it. This is this is part of our social commitment. This is the chapter where I'm very much proud, and I would really share with you, ladies and gentlemen. We have very nice tradition in the spring every year. We are letting the first grade boys and girls together with the last grade school boys to plant the tree. It means if he is taking 10 years school time, then he is caring about his own tree, and he is really growing together with this tree, and he has this feeling. We have launched this couple years back. It has immense super outcome and influence, and it is really very nice tradition or corporate tradition. And beside this, of course, we are on the 2nd of September each year. This is the school start in Uzbekistan. For the first class grade, we are giving all our support and good wish to the new journey in their life in education. And again, we are very much keen, and we are very much against the child labor or any kind of forced labor, and we are promoting this in all our vehicles, in all our visual things, and we are clearly stay for this item. Of course, we have our own marathon team inside of our team. They are running Last time I was in Bukhara, this time would be probably in Samarkand. And besides this, we are also sponsor of our local football club, where our all people, very much football fans, and we wish, and you have seen the last Olympic Games, and you have seen how sport is matter in our country. Thank you very much for your attention, dear ladies and gentlemen. We are very much proud. If you have any kind of question, just raise the hand. I will be happy to answer. And please scan and follow us on the all media channels. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Razakov. Please make sure when there will be Samarkand Marathon, so roads won't be blocked. Thank you. So the next panelist, Mr. Jamshed Ismatullayev, CEO of Chust Textile company located in Namangan province, also one of the leading Uzbekistan textile companies exporting to the many, many countries and globally. Mr. Ismatullayev, the floor is yours, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Now you can hear me. Hope everything is good. I see you are tired a little bit. I will try to be fast and not so official. So my name is Jamshed Ismatullayev. I am from Chust Textile. Chust is the small, maybe it is town, not city. It is approximately 250 kilometers far from Tashkent. So in our factory, which was started approximately 18 years ago, we first made garment production, and we are known as one of the biggest garment exporters. We are in top 5 in Uzbekistan. I want to explain you something not only about my company's life, but about the connection between business and government in Uzbekistan, because I think everybody is very interested in how government works with business. So the history of our company normally began in 2006, but officially in 2007. Till the pandemic, we exported maximum $10 million annually. Last year, this figure became $25 million. And why we succeeded to make it 2.5 points higher? I think mostly because a new wind came with new politics. Because in last times, it was a little bit difficult to grow up. It was our main aim was to hold what we have. Now, the big road is open in Uzbekistan, and you can see it, you can touch it, you can just feel it, I think. So, okay. We have currently not only garment production, but knitting, dyeing production as well. We can knit and dye 25 tons per day of knitted fabric, and approximately from 50 to 70,000 pieces of different garments per day. We have more than 3 factories. The 4th factory will be launched soon. But what we have done last 7 years, we have launched a factory with totally new system. This is very fast, this is low cost, but very high efficient system of hangar system, what you can see on the photo. And currently we have more than 60,000 square meters covered with hangars. The money, it is not working. Okay, the money that was saved using the new technology building. We have sent for high technology production, like what you can see here, you can see here, and we fully automated our dyeing production. So I want to explain you something. This is after auto dosing system, full automated chemicals, dyings, salt, soda, silicone, whatever you know, everything fully automated. So nobody will touch chemicals anymore, and we are proud that our president, the first time in the history of modern Uzbekistan, he visited our dyeing factory. It was the first time in the history because, you know, that dyeing, this is chemicals and it is forbidden for the presidents and high governmental person to visit. So because we made a separate place, hangar, for all these chemicals, it gave us an opportunity to see president in our factory. In our factory, we have a lot of alternate power sources, like solar system. I can say that we are the biggest private company with the biggest solar system in Uzbekistan among private companies. We have gas cogeneration system, and approximately 90% of our electricity we can earn from gas and solar. So this is the another scene. You can see our sewing factory. This is really big factory with more than 40 lines totally. So another part, what I want to explain you, this is how government works with business the last 7-8 years. The wall which was before between us, I think it is now ruined. Every day we can talk with government, we can take part in new laws. For example, I'm the member of Council for Business Development under the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan. And just some figures about this council. For the last 6 months, we have participated in the creating of 65 regulatory documents, including 14 laws and 22 presidential decrees. So what does it mean? No more harming laws anymore. This is very important for business because a lot of laws was just banned by this council. And we really take part in this life, and we are really proud. For example, this year, after maybe 5-4 years problems with VAT reimbursement, this year we have launched a new system. This is the sustainability rating system, which helps all the business companies which are high rated to reimburse the VAT in 1 day, 24 hours maximum. So I think this is a very huge thing for the business. Or the business can now, for example, textile can now get credit interested with the interest not more than 6%. Normally we have 2 lines with 4% and 6.5%. So with normal rates in maybe in Uzbekistan it is approximately from 10 to 15%. This is very good opportunity for business given by government and taken part by the business itself. So I want to send you a message that in Uzbekistan now the business takes a very high and good place in the governmental life as well. A lot of businessmen, you can see them in governmental chairs as well. For example, our Mr. Davron Wahabov is also a big businessman. Okay, so I want to assure you that if you come to Uzbekistan, if you start your business in Uzbekistan, you will be really protected by the government as well. And I see this eyes-wise, I see this in my life. Last 6, 7, 8 years changed the way to make business in Uzbekistan. This is real life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ismatulayev, Jamshidaka. The valuable information was shared here that now in Uzbekistan we have Entrepreneurs Council under the President of Uzbekistan, and whatever law to be issued is discussed with this Entrepreneurs Council first, and it supports in developing the entrepreneurship in Uzbekistan, as well as Mr. Ismatulayev mentioned, any investor who is interested to invest in Uzbekistan, you must know that Uzbekistan has two codes, and it has separate investment law on protection of foreign investment. We are local entrepreneurs, a little bit jealous for that, of course. Okay, so the last but not least, our panelist, Mr. Mir Muhsin Sultanov, Chairman, Uztextilprom, please.
Assalamu alaikum, dear ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to welcome everyone who is participating in this beautiful event in Samarkand. So it's a great pleasure to have you all in Uzbekistan. So today we have more than almost 300 delegates from all over the world, and 150 delegates, big companies from Uzbekistan. So it is a great opportunity for us to have this event, and we are very proud that ITMF and IEF is having their joint event in Uzbekistan. So 2 years ago, it was just an idea. So today we have this event, and I would like to thank ITMF and IEF's board for supporting Uzbekistan's initiative to help their joint event in Uzbekistan. So we accept this as acknowledgement of reforms made in Uzbekistan. So my colleagues have already covered pretty much of our industry. I won't go in details of history. I won't go in details into figures. Karim has made my work easy, so he has very good information report that is available online. So first of all, I would like to thank all delegates that made effort to visit Uzbekistan. So I know some of our colleagues are visiting Uzbekistan for the first time, and I know my friend from Brazil, Rafael, has traveled almost 2 days to visit Uzbekistan, and our colleagues from Taiwan, there was some problems with flight, and they finally made this. So I would like to thank everyone who is here that they have already invested their time and interest to Uzbekistan. So that's a great pleasure for us. So as I already mentioned, we accept having this huge prestigious event in Uzbekistan as acknowledgement that reforms have been made in Uzbekistan. So where are we right now in Uzbekistan? So Uzbekistan is right now out of cotton campaigns boycott. So it has been acknowledged by cotton campaign itself, and it has been acknowledged by our colleagues in International Labour Organization, who was supportive in the process of getting out of, reforming the industry even further. And it has been acknowledged by US Department also that we are now out of, we don't have any systematic forced and child labor. So right now we have already started programs of better work and better cotton initiatives. So we have already certified and involved companies from Uzbekistan, and the figure is growing, and Uzbekistan is doing its best to support those two programs to scale up in Uzbekistan. So yesterday we, with Janet and Michael, launched the pilot with SLCP. So I'm pretty sure that it will also bring success and awareness of Uzbekistan in supply chain. So I won't go in details of production capacities and the direction of variety of our production. So in this slide, you can get acquainted with capacities that we have. But the thing I would like to mention is that because of the reforms made by the president, reforms made by the government, the support that we are getting right now, we have been investing into industry in last 8 years over $4 billion. So it has made our export production almost more than double the production and export capacities that we are having. So in report of Gersi, we've seen that Uzbekistan is double land load country. But after the pandemic, we've found out that we are the closest in textile developed industry country to European Union and to all the CIS countries with whom we have free trade agreement. So now at the beginning of this today's welcome session, our Deputy Prime Minister, our Governor of Samarkand, and our distinguished Chairman of Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Wahabov, has mentioned the support that has been given by government constantly to the industry. So right now we are exporting to more than 80 countries, and government is subsidizing the transportation costs. Yes, we are double land load country, but we found out that we can export our goods to Europe, let's say to Germany in 14, 15 days only, and to other neighboring countries, to China in 10 days. So that's why I would say that Uzbekistan is developing and we are open to cooperate. In this sense, I would give some examples of incentives and the conditions that Uzbekistan is having. I won't go in details to figures, just you can look at cost of doing business in Uzbekistan. So if it's compared with other textile developed countries, we are very compatible in those things. So right now, Uzbekistan is building 4 industrial zones dedicated for only textile. So I would like to encourage our partners here to take a look to these industrial zones. We are fully committed to support all of your initiatives. So government is making, in these 4 industrial zones, water treatment and water recycling system. And government is helping to build facilities in these industrial zones. So we can lease the land with installment payment. We can build the factory with installment payment. So we are open to discuss any scheme of cooperation. So of course we are striving to have quality and control over the traceability and sustainability. In this sense, we are cooperating with major certification organizations. As I mentioned, we are already cooperating with Better Cotton, Better Work, and SLCP, and UNICE, the Sustainability Pledge, so on, so on. And number of companies with certificates, certified companies like Mr. Muzaffar's Global Textile, like Mr. Jamshid's Chust Textile, are growing day by day. Right now we have almost 500 certified companies, but it's constantly growing as government is fully subsidizing the cost of obtaining certificates. So this is short presentation about Uzbekistan. If you have any questions, we are open. We are open to cooperate. We are open to have you in Uzbekistan. So please feel free to ask any questions. We are ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sultanov, Chairman. And hope not hungry yet. So we are now came to the Q&A part, and we're expecting as much as possible questions from your side. Yesterday I heard from Justin that only this side was working, so I'm trying to look at this side also. Please raise your questions and we are ready to receive them. The mic? Yes, to Justin.
My name is Justin Huang, Taiwan Textile Federation. First of all, I would like to thank Uzbekistan give us a lot of support and that us we can finally arrive in Samarkand. Even the trip was quite difficult. But anyway, we found that the economical growth, particularly for textile sectors and garment sectors in Uzbekistan, it has improved. It's a success. And I have two questions. First of all is, Youngone is a very close friend of Taiwan. They were very smart to select Bangladesh in 1980s and build up a huge project over there and also enjoy the results. And Youngone also invested in Uzbekistan. Why they skip India? India now is a faster growing country for textile sectors. And I would like to know a little bit more about this policy made by Youngone, why skip India? And we have been meeting many Indian business people to come to Taiwan to attract our business people to go over there and invest over there. So maybe Youngone's experience can be something for our reference. And secondly, cotton is the base of the Uzbekistan textile industry. And cotton in the worldwide is still very important materials. But looking at the population of the worldwide, cotton cannot meet all the requirements from the consumers, from the markets. So man-made fibers still play some important role in the whole textile world. So for Uzbekistan, is it possible to let us know that apart from cotton, to look at the man-made fiber sectors, is there any new policy for you to invest or to develop? Based on our standings, population in Uzbekistan is 32 million people or a little bit more. It's less than one single province of China. It's less than one single province of India. And even Vietnam, they have similar treatment as you. They export their garments to Europe Union. They also enjoy the free trade agreement. Vietnam's population is more than 100 million. So comparing all of these factors, how do you differentiate yourself to make yourself more competitive in a global market or focus on European market? You are facing different kind of competitions. So this is something we would like to know in order to let our business leaders to look further the business potential in Uzbekistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin. And we'll try to get answer from the panelists who wish to answer. Mr. Chairman, regarding your experience in Uzbekistan.
Coming to Uzbekistan was accidental, like it was with Bangladesh. But because of the culture of Uzbekistan, also unique relationship between Korea and Uzbekistan, since 1937, when Stalin has forced hundreds of thousands Koreans living in Far Eastern, Soviet countries, so they were dumped to Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. So we feel obligated, we should support the country as well as Koreans out here. That was also another reason that we looked into Uzbekistan more seriously. And then we find that this is a country where we can develop a lot of our future together with, especially as you, Mr. Justin Wang knows, we are not a cotton company, but this is the time to add cotton to us. But as you know, 100% cotton was not, as popular as it was before. So our mission here is, like in Bangladesh, adding man-made fiber product, fiber, mixed with the cotton. So there is a huge potential for Taiwanese investors to come here and add more man-made fiber investment, so that combined with the cotton in Uzbekistan, as well as this new investment that you could make, I think we can make a big success out here. Of course, transportation issue is still there. I'm going to propose government some of more streamlined regime of transportation here. That is what I want to tell you. But actually, our competition is with our own production in Bangladesh. We make the same product. So we find Uzbek-made cotton product is more competitively priced than my Bangladesh factories. Also, sometimes it's easier to transport to Europe. That is an advantage. Did I answer?
I hope so. Thank you. Justin, did Chairman answer? Anyone else from panelists if would like to take an answer? Yes, please.
I just want to take the question around competitiveness, because this is what we would like to work with our industry actor in Uzbekistan. So when we look into the competitiveness, we look into three specific areas. One is looking into the enterprises and promoting compliance of culture at the enterprise level, so that the enterprise itself has a tool and technique to identify their change for improvement. And second thing is also work together with our constituent to promote policy coherence, so that we have established policy in place that is also allow business to grow, not only business in the country, but also bring the investor in the country. So these are the two specific points that we, from ILO side, we are working with the government and also with the industry actor, try to make enable environment in Uzbekistan that will based on the compliance system and transparency, and we'll have also policy reform that allow business to grow with sustainable approach in mind. Thank you.
If I just may add, thank you for your question, and thank you for coming, even though there was typhoon and so on. That's happy that you are here with us. So thank you for your question regarding man-made fiber. Yes, man-made fiber is very important. Well, yes, Uzbekistan is mostly right now on cotton, but on our strategy till 2030, the core strategy is to develop man-made fiber. Yes, right now Uzbekistan is net importer of polyester and other man-made fiber types, but in coming years, in coming 3 to 4 years, a huge project will be launched. It is already launched, but in 3 or 4 years, this huge project will be started, and by this, we will have PTA and other man-made fiber produced in Uzbekistan. So that's why now the period is like this. We are now building the demand for man-made fiber. We are trying to shift from the cotton to man-made fiber, and that's why how we are trying to build demand on it. Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Juan Ginestrosa. I'm a professor at Cornell University in the US. I was very fascinated by the presentations, but I didn't see any discussions about educational requirements and how, for example, Uzbek universities are very well known for high quality programs, like in chemistry programs, really good. But I wonder if the government can explain a little bit more of how you plan to involve some of the universities and develop the local talent so they can develop the industry even further, not just simply manufacture, but produce new knowledge and then become more self-sufficient in that way. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the questions. Very important question, as also during the presentation, some of presenters mentioned. We do pay attention to the education. Of course, a lot of works to do. But please, dear panelists, who would like to share an experience in that?
Thank you for the question. I can share with our own experience at the company. I can openly say we have a huge demand on professionals, experts, and for that reason we tried different models, and currently we're approaching this dual system, education system, as well on the professional way, as well as the higher education. We have clear cooperation with Fergana Polytechnical Institution, and we have with many other small educational institutions, we have clearly exchange of the internships, etc. Besides this, we have engaged around 25 high qualified expats, basically on the technology side, and one of the points in their bonus system is to prepare the 5 successors or 5 well-educated within 2 years. We're trying to pay big attention to human resource side, to education. We are constantly educating and training our people. We are changing the mind of our people because this is very crucial in transition time. Yeah, this is our experience, and we are very young employees. Average is around 30, and mainly females, and they're very, very active to get more knowledge and more experience, and we're pleased to give this opportunity, to give this chance. Yeah, this is our experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Razakov. Just to add, maybe that will be interesting. Recently, there was a new decree and the law was issued for those who are trading with the global brands. There are a number of supportive measures, including attracting the foreign professors, foreign specialists in the sphere, with the coverage almost of the 100% of their salaries. There are a lot of incentives which could be shared by Uzbekistan, by the Chamber of Commerce, of course. And another question, please? Yes.
So, my name is Harald Weber from the VDMA Textile Machinery Association from Germany, representing 150 members. There's a strong partnership between German machine manufacturers and Uzbekistan. So especially the strategy expanding the capacities of processing the yarn directly in the country, of course, help the manufacturers. However, a challenge is getting it financed. So open the credits is for many manufacturers a problem. So how can we get some support in this issue that it can make easier to really fulfill the projects?
Nice question. Yeah, Mr. Sultanov, would you like to?
Yeah, if you could just clarify the question, I didn't get the point.
The problem is to get the export financed, to get the credits from the banks, from Uzbekistan. This is somehow a challenge for the exporters.
Yeah, just to clarify, the question is about financing the export, the financing institution support or tools or that loans which are provided.
For the equipment delivery, for the machine manufacturers.
Thank you for the question. As we have already mentioned, huge investment on equipment has been made, and mostly from European and mostly from German machineries are implemented into industry. So we have too many credit lines from Germany and Europe. So you might know our colleagues have already used those credit lines like Landesbank and the Hella Bank and others. So there are plenty of instruments. So if we can get a meeting, we can discuss this in more details. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, maybe the last question, or we can finish because it's almost the lunchtime. Before we go to the closing and then giving the gifts and finishing this, I have a very small announcement about that we will be having the wonderful laser show on Registan Square right after the dinner. The laser show starts at 10 if I'm not mistaken. So after the dinner, please do not go anywhere. So there will be the buses which will take you to the Registan Square, and the magnificent laser show will be shown there. So thank you very much, all the panelists. Thank you very much, auditory, and the questions. There are a lot of things to share. I would like to say that you saw some of the success story of investment in Uzbekistan. You felt the potential of the investment and the potential of production and potential of textile industry of Uzbekistan. Only 2 of our companies were represented here. There are a number of the companies and their owners are participating in this event. You can meet them in the corridor during the coffee breaks. Please take this opportunity to share the experience. They're wonderful companies. They're producing the wonderful fabrics, but we need your experience. We need your support in doing mutually beneficial business. Thank you so much, everyone.
So, dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention, and let me announce the second part of the fashion show in the lobby. And after you invited to lunch at Sun Hall Congress Center room, also enjoy the show and have a nice lunch. Thank you.